Okay, I'm gonna assume this as a yes. Okay, so
Yeah, we are seeing your screen, but we are seeing it in the
so
mode of yeah,
presenter. Okay,
yeah.
let me fix this.
Please fix it.
Now, is it the same?
Yes, you need. There is a
Okay,
way to do it.
it's okay. I don't need the presenter view. Okay, now I can share. Okay, now you're seeing my emails.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Nothing really secret happening around here. So yeah, basically we are here today to try to understand together or to discover how to create content that engages. When I say engages, meaning that achieves your objective, whether it is to get likes, comments, or even to get people reading the blog, seeing the video, whatever the content is. Now, I understand there are a little bit of hesitancy with e-commerce businesses creating content because this is not traditionally how it happens. So we've structured the presentation today to have a focus more a little bit on the misconceptions. So what are the ideas that people have that are limiting them from creating a content strategy? The reason why content strategy is not working if you have tried it or why it hasn't worked in the past. So once we get these away, we can start to discover together how to follow a framework, build content strategy that works for you. I'm going to give you the guidelines, the step-by-step process. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to actually do that, all of us together, but I've added some examples that will get you a little bit of inspiration and would show you how other people have done it as well. Now, all of this has been done in a way where I'm not really showing you how big businesses do that. It's mostly customized for small businesses. And trust me, you can do it. You don't need to have big budgets or anything like that. So the first misconception is that content marketing is for big companies or is not suitable for my business. So either I've discovered with working with SMEs or startups that they think that this is way out of reach for them, or that this does not suit their business because they are, for example, in B2B or are in sectors that are a little bit more specific or niche, let's say. But the thing that they don't realize is really you are doing content marketing every day. Everything you're posting on social media is content marketing. Every interview, every post, every video, everything you have out there that speaks about your business is content marketing. Now, it is true that certain companies or big companies invest in content marketing, but this should be an additional reason you should as well invest in that. And I'll explain to you why in the next couple of slides. Now, a lot of things have changed as a result of COVID and all of the things that came after. But one thing that has never changed is that customers now, or even in the past 10 years, they have access to information, meaning they tend to research every product or most of the products before they buy them, which means that once they do research, this is content marketing. So once someone goes on Google and Googles something, this is a chance for you to show your company or your products or services in front of an actual audience that is looking for these products. Now, also what we've realized after COVID that a lot of customers have different priorities now. Before they used to go, for example, for big brands, they used to go for known brands. Now they tend to focus more on smaller brands that have real values. And these brands show value for their customers, and they don't treat them just as one in between I don't know how many million customers. So this is where also you could stand out from other big companies. The second misconception is that content marketing is too expensive or that I cannot afford it as a small business. This is where it's completely the opposite. Actually, content marketing is one of the cheapest, most effective way to put your brand out there, specifically in front of people who are looking for the products that you are offering. So the trick here, and that's why a lot of people say that content does not work for their business, is to create something that actually people want to read or want to consume. We say really consume content. And this is what we will kind of do together today. Now, I just wanted to give you a quote from a VP of marketing from Neustar that believes that content marketing actually provides 4 times the return on investment of our traditional marketing spend, meaning even traditional offline and online. So this is very important to see that even big companies actually see the value in content marketing. Now, another misconception, and I understand this might be a little bit intimidating, is that content marketing is equivalent to SEO, and SEO is too complicated. Now, it might be a little bit complicated, but you really don't have to know SEO to do content marketing. It helps, but it's not mandatory. So you have tools, I think you've covered these in some of the modules training, which are Answer the Public and Ubersuggest, that really gives you an idea of what people are searching around the topic that you are interested in. So you don't have to really know SEO, you don't have to do keyword research, you don't have to really understand how to do meta tags and meta description. This is not important. But once you answer questions that people have around your product or service, or even around your brand or your values, this is where this content will start to resonate with your audience. And this is the keyword from this presentation, which is resonate with the target audience. The fourth misconception is that content marketing is not suitable for e-commerce websites. That's common. That's actually very common. That's why very few e-commerce brands invest in content marketing. And this is exactly why you should, because this leaves room for your brands. Meaning that when someone searches for a product that they want to buy, or that, let's say they want to buy a new laptop, or even a new face cream, or a new brand of coffee, I'm using the examples that we have later on. This is where you can place your product in front of it. It's not only ads that work in terms of getting sales. So when people are searching, they have this intent to buy. Your content actually should help them in their decision to buy from you, and not from your competitors, whether big companies or small companies. So that's also another quote that I found very interesting, because it's just the buyer journey, meaning from someone when they get from deciding that they want to buy a product or just browsing and seeing that this is interesting. It's nothing more than a series of questions that must be answered. So if you answer all of the questions, you help people decide to buy from you. And this is way easier than you think it is. We will see how to do that also in the last part of the presentation. The fifth misconception is that content marketing is only writing blog posts. I've covered this in the first slide, but just to remind you that every piece of content is content marketing. Even if someone writes about you, meaning, for example, the reviews, or if someone posts something about you on a magazine, or online magazine, or anything else of that sort, this is also content marketing. So the videos, behind the scenes, reviews, guest interviews, guest blogs or interviews, this is all content marketing. So if you don't have someone to write content within your team, then you can just always work with someone external to help you do that, or to write about you, which is also more interesting. And that goes back to, for example, influencer marketing, which is also content marketing. So just a minute here, you can all unmute yourself if needed. I just want to know what else you believe about content marketing. So we remove these misconceptions from the beginning, and we'll just start fresh together. Just unmute yourself and let me know if there's anything else.
Jennifer,
yes.
When you say it's not expensive, can you elaborate on that? Because everybody stops at that, and when you say it's not, please, can you elaborate more?
Thanks. That's actually a very interesting question. Yes, you wanted to say something more?
Yeah, I mean, you know, people don't really know what they can do for no money So if you can give us ideas, that would be great.
Okay. Actually, the ideas in terms of content we will see in the framework. But when I say it doesn't cost much, meaning you all do social media. This is part of your marketing channels. Okay, this is content marketing. It costs what it costs in terms of time, probably design. But we all know that there are tools that can help you for free, such as Canva, to create the posts. The only paid, so it costs time and a little bit of research and some tools in case you want to pay for the tools. But other than that, the cost in content marketing is in the promotion. But you don't have to also do paid ads. It's easier for everyone to do paid ads, and we'll also see what is the right way of doing paid ads following the same framework for content marketing. But this is all it costs you. It doesn't cost anything else. So it is cheaper in terms of creating the content than just doing, for example, discounts. Discounts is a marketing strategy that costs you money. Doing ads as well costs you money. I'm not saying don't do ads. I'm saying content is the cheapest way of doing marketing, but also the trick is in trying to get that content where people actually want to read. And this is where we have a little bit of trouble, because brands tend to talk about things they believe people are interested in, whereas there is a big shift between what they actually believe and what people are interested in. And we will see how to do that a little bit later. Did I answer your question, Linda? Partly, we'll cover the rest after. Anyone else has any reason why they've not done this before, or they believe it doesn't work? All right, I think everyone is enjoying the sea view, but I will move on. Okay, so we have the misconception that limits us from us doing content marketing. But when someone actually does, there are some reasons why content marketing does not achieve the objective set in the beginning. The first one, which is the most common in my opinion, is that content marketing, or the way we even do social media, it has no objective, no strategy. We just wake up one day, we decide we want to post these posts on social media, we want to promote this product, and that's it. This is, let's say I'm going to be very pessimistic. It's 99% of businesses I've worked with so far that have this as a way of working, and one of the reasons why it doesn't work. So just having no objective, you can't really understand if it worked or not, because you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. The second reason, well, actually, my mistake, this is the most common, is that all of the content is too salesy, meaning we only talk about ourselves or our brands or our services, and we just completely ignore, as I said earlier, what people want to hear or want to read or want to see. The golden rule, I think you might have heard of this, is that 20% of the marketing should be brand centric, so should talk about you as a brand or a product, and 80% should be customer centric. And this is where I find this is the hardest, to try to get businesses to find what is customer centric for themselves or for their customers actually. So once you adjust this ratio between 80 and 20, because usually it's the flip, it's 80% brand centric and 20% customer centric. Once you do the flip, this is where you actually start seeing changes or more results, depending, of course, you are tracking the results. And this is reason number 3, is that most people, as I've said, they just put content out there and do not track the result. They can tell you at the end of the month, okay, we got, I don't know, 250 comments this month and 500 shares. Okay, but how is that working towards your end goal, which is either building brand awareness or getting sales or engaging customers? How is that working for you? So that's why you need to set the objective to know actually if you're improving from the month before and if you're going in the right direction you want for yourself. So how are we measuring content success? Is it the comments and the shares? Is it the number of views that someone had on your blog, for example, or the time they've spent on on your page. Now, all of these are valid numbers or valid indicators to track your success, but then it only is relevant depending on what your objective is. Reason number 4 is that most often we ignore our target customer, or we have a very shallow understanding of our audience persona. I know you've went to a lot of, you've done a lot of units with ITC, or even you've watched a lot of webinars. But actually, whenever I talk with anyone, I realize that they, even if they know their target audience, whenever they actually do content, they completely put them aside. And this is a very big reason why it doesn't work. Now, you know your audience persona, but really, what are they looking for? What are their pains and gains, where your product or your services can actually offer something of value? How can you solve these issues that they have? Keeping in mind that the content should add value to the target customer. It should help them in their decision-making process. We will see very interesting examples as well. Now, I've talked about misconceptions and the reason why it doesn't work. So now, enough with the negative, enough with the bad ideas we have about content marketing, and what is the actual framework to build a content strategy that actually works and resonates with your target audience. First of all, okay, the fonts are a little bit messed up. First of all, we need to define what our goal from content marketing is. So it needs to answer 3 basic questions. Why are we making this content in the first place? It could be, one of the reasons could be increase your sales, okay? But it's not enough to just list increase your sales and again, go back to the common way we do things, is to post salesy content. Everything is like buy now, buy now, buy now. This do not work anymore. It used to work a long time before when we didn't have so much content and competition on social media. Now you need to go a little bit further in the way you do the content. You can also decide to promote a new collection, build brand awareness. It could be a lot of things. That's the first question. So why are we making the content in the first place? What content do we need? Okay, so we don't do content and then ask, how am I going to promote it? What do I want to do? And then what is the content that I need? 3, how do we get that content to accomplish our goals? And this is where we do the marketing or the promotion, if you want. Again, promotion doesn't have to be only advertising. That's step number 1. Okay, so I've taken some examples just to help you see how it fits all together. So if our goal is to create brand awareness, and this should always be a part of your strategy, because you always want to get new brand awareness or new people or your content in front of new people. You can have more than one objective to create brand awareness. It's not something you do within one campaign or one post. The first one could be, for example, get 1,000 campaign video views by a certain date. Again, to go back and say, okay, I've achieved my goal. 2, be featured in an online publication. Or both, get 5,000 organic monthly views to your homepage. Now, all of this is a sign of building brand awareness. That could be the goal for the first month. The second month could be just increase organic views to your website by 5%, by 10%, so on and so forth. Another example is to grow an email list of engaged target subscribers. Now, I understand there is also a lot of misconception when it comes to email, but I believe you are now more, especially if you followed the first 3 units, is that email is very important and actually is one of the I will not say the cheapest, but the best way to get sales and bring also engagement and to build loyalty with your customers. So if I want to grow an email list of subscribers, my first objective could be to get 5,000 subscribers by a certain date, have a 10% month by month list growth. So this list should grow 10% every month. And if I'm sending the emails, I need to also work on the open rate for these emails, meaning that I need to keep my email list fresh, having people who are actually interested in the content that I'm writing or in the products or in the emails that I'm sending. and also have a 40% open rate. I'm just saying 40% might not be a good number. It really depends on your business as well. So all of these will help you achieve your goal of growing an email list of engaged target customers or subscribers. So the keyword here is engage. If they open, if it increases the number of subscribers, it means that you actually have an engaged list of subscribers. Now that was step number 1. Step number 2 is to conduct persona research. I'm pretty sure you already have your persona set, but I will just take 2 tools to show you how I usually prefer to do persona research. So you already know audience persona, the template, but there's also something customer I like a lot because it focuses on the pains and the gains, is the customer empathy map. Now, I will use to illustrate this with an example. Okay, let's say, for example, you are, well, I got inspired with by one of my SMEs, but I went a little bit deeper. So to give you a little bit something that's more niche, if you want. So you are producing and selling clean and natural skincare products specifically created for women above 40 years old. Okay, they have a different, maybe this is part of your of the products that you sell. Maybe it's just a line of products as well. So it doesn't have to be that the brand is so niche, but that's an example to help you really understand why we need to go in depth. So for that brand, let's say we have a persona, Anna. Anna is an architect. She works in an architecture firm. She quit 2 years ago to launch her own firm because she wants to specialize in eco-friendly and environmentally optimized design. She's married and has 2 kids. Okay, doesn't have to be everything related to, again, to your brand or what we're selling. It's just, it gives you an idea to help you understand what is the lifestyle of Anne. So she's 45 years old. She has a good income. She lives in France. She's very social, goes out regularly. She has a good work-life balance, which is hard to achieve. For example, she's very active on social media platforms. Her goals in life and in work is to live her life according to her values. So environment, ethics, harmony with nature. And she wants to be a role model to her employees and her kids. Now, where she actually she has challenges is finding trustworthy brands that align with her values, including the products that she uses on her face. She has a hectic lifestyle and no time to shop in store. So what can we do as a brand to put our products in front of Anna? We can highlight our skincare brand values, promote text and video testimonials to try and remove this friction that Anna has from buying from a brand that she doesn't know. Show our product life cycle. So go behind the scene, the production, the packaging, how we do everything to also increase trust. And promote our online store and skincare expert who assist with shopping and give tailored recommendations. This is because Anna has a hectic lifestyle and she has no time to shop. Now, the real post is something Anna really says in her mind when she's alone or with friends. She says, I don't trust everything I read online, and I stopped using very known skincare brands after I started researching the ingredients they use in their products and their manufacturing process. So that could be also a good content idea to show, for example, actual industrial products or very known brands, how many ingredients they have, and the products that you sell, maybe they have 4 or 5 ingredients, and you actually can certify where they're from or how they've been developed. So either it's organic or anything else. But that could be a very interesting piece of content that will help Anna make a decision to buy from you. What are common objections that Anna has when it comes or might block her from buying your products is, how can I trust that your products are actually clean and natural? And again, that piece of content helps ease this friction. Can I try them before buying? Which is a legitimate question for someone who wants to buy something for their face and they don't know the brand yet. This is at the end of the persona. This is where you develop marketing messages that are specifically created for Anna and the group of customers that she represents. So it could be, again, this is all, we're not selling any brand here. It could be clean hydration products for your skin. Our products are prepared using natural ingredients that are sourced without disrupting nature's lifestyle. 100% natural, brand guarantee, skincare expert at your service. Not sure about us, request some samples to try. So this is also something that will help Anna make a decision. Now, again, the elevator pitch says a little bit of the same, but with a more compact copy, if you want. Now, that's basically using the audience persona. But what I mean, why I wanted to show you is an example, is that we need to actually go in depth. We need to see, I don't want to have an understanding of the persona that is yeah, she's 35 years old, married, and has 2 kids, and lives in Nice. I want to really go in depth to understand why people will buy from me and why they might not, to have all of this content ready, whether in blogs and videos or even in social media posts. Now, the other tool that I like a lot is the customer empathy map. Now, it is a little bit similar to the audience persona, the template, but it goes a little bit further into, it doesn't focus on age and location and how much someone makes, but it helps you identify the pains and the gains of potential customers and ultimately what they are willing to pay for. So it looks something like this. So you have, again, that would be Anna in the middle. So what does Anna think and feel? What are her preoccupations, aspiration, and her words? What does she see in her environment? Now, it could be, for example, that she lives in the city and has a lot of stress. She doesn't have the time to shop, all of this. What does she say and do? What's her attitude? How she acts in public? All of this. And what does she hear? Okay, so who are the people who influence her? Are they friends? Are they family? Are they influencers online? Does she watch TV? Does she read magazine? All of this. This actually helps you identify where you would put your content and how you would push or promote the content, if you will. Now, once you are working on the customer empathy map, it's not really important if you actually don't know where each idea goes. It doesn't matter if one idea in think and feel should be in here or say and do should be in C. It doesn't really matter. It matters that you have a global understanding of who the person is, who the customer segment is. Now, the most important here is what are the pains and the gains. Pains and gains are relevant to your products. So what is the pain or what are the pains that Anna has? What are the frustrations? What is standing in her way to actually achieve that ultimate skin or have this morning glow or anything else? And what does she actually gain from buying your product? Is it trust? Which maybe it will help her sleep better at night, knowing that she's encouraging small businesses, or that she's actually using products that are 100% guaranteed that they are clean and good for her. And actually, yeah, maybe she will, her husband will appreciate her glowing skin. I'm just saying, okay? It doesn't have to be so limited by the typical ways of doing marketing. Just try to brainstorm and come up with anything that comes in your mind, and then you can just remove the ideas that do not make a lot of sense. So we will also take a look at an example with the empathy map. In this example, I invented again an example for a fair trade coffee brand. It doesn't have a name, but it has a customer. So this is, again, Anna. This is by coincidence. So Anna, what does she think and feel? She feels in her lifestyle that she needs to make a difference. The way she lives needs to make a difference. She needs to be fair. Everyone is allowed the freedom to choose whatever it is in their lives, not only related to coffee. What does she see? She's always online. She participates in Facebook groups. She watches a lot of TED Talks, and she uses Netflix to see documentaries and not series. What does she say and do? She takes short courses to keep learning. She attends university and she shops small and local. So she goes to her local butcher, she goes to her local pharmacy and everything else. Now, Anna, what does she hear? She listens to Greta Thunberg. She believes that she hears that she should be the change you see in the world. So she wants to lead and lead people with her lifestyle. And she hears that global warming is the biggest threat. Now, this is very important for coffee lovers, is that most of coffee chains are not very fair trade and actually well, have a lot of issues with the way they produce coffee. So this is very much linked to the character of Anna. Now, in case Anna wants to buy actually fair trade coffee, although she believes this should be her lifestyle because she needs to show the way, is that the products or the brands are too expensive and they're not very convenient to buy because they're not available everywhere. And what does she gain from doing that is to feel like she's giving back to brands and products she believes in. And actually she gains from actually trying or having coffee that actually tastes great. So these are a little bit limited, but you can understand, well, I hope it's clear on how you need to show Anna that, for example, it could be as well how your products are not too expensive, very convenient to buy. Maybe you have an online store and you can deliver anywhere. And the satisfaction that she might feel when she's giving back by buying from your products and actually enjoying a good cup of coffee. Now, we've talked about step one, which is setting the objective. Step two, understanding the audience or just reviewing the audience again. It could be that you have, I don't know, 5 audience personas, but each content piece or this objective, for example, you want to grow the number of subscribers that are from this audience persona. So it's not really just general. You need to think of the piece of content you're creating to which persona it really associates with. Step number 3 is run a content audit. Okay, so you need to go back to the previous content pieces you've made and check what's working, what can you improve, and what do you keep doing. Assuming, of course, you've done a good piece of content and you've promoted it well, but it either did work or did not work. You will see a lot of recommendations in terms of, for example, using videos because it engages people, or doing stories and so on. But that's really in general. It should be something that's very specific to your brand and your customers. Now, after we've done all of this, we need to brainstorm content ideas and types. As you can see from step 1 to 3, we already have some ideas that we think are relevant. So once you're actually doing this step, keep noting the content ideas and the types of content format that you're interested in, and just keep them inside until you get to this step. Now, anytime you do this brainstorming strategy, always keep in mind the persona, the objectives and the goals. It's very easy to get distracted from actually what you intend to do. Review what has been working for you. And this is what I'm gonna add at this step, is the level of the marketing funnel you are working on. Now, a lot of people who do content marketing, again, focus on sales. They believe that people buy for one reason and one reason only, which is the price. So they believe in case they do a discount or they are cheaper than others and they focus on that. This is why people will buy from them. It actually might work for some brands. It might be true from for some audiences as well, but that's not the just unique or recommended way of doing content. So I've talked about the marketing funnel briefly, but this is how it looks like. So basically, it just maps the buyer journey. So once people have awareness about your brand, so who are you, what do you do, what do you stand for, maybe they've never heard of you before, that would be on the awareness level. The second level is, I call it consideration. So are they, for example, now they know the skincare brand that we have, but Anna doesn't know, for example, why she should buy from us or why not. So she would go into that consideration stage and actually compare to different products or read the ingredient list. And this is where she should be able to form a clear opinion on whether she actually steps into level 3, which is commitment and the sale. Okay, this marketing funnel, it usually is something that we use traditionally in offline marketing, and people really have a hard time understanding that this also applies to online marketing. So the reason why I added this here is that there are different strategies or different content formats or tactics that work or are recommended at each level of the funnel. So at the awareness, it could be that you do social media. Okay, so when you do social media at the awareness level, remember these are people who are not really at the consideration stage. So pushing content that focuses on price is not a way to build awareness. Building awareness focuses on building brand awareness, talking about what are your values, or even entertaining people sometimes, or showing different aspects of your values and what you stand for. So the social media, website, and blog content ads also help a lot in awareness. We will see an example. Referrals, because someone referred referred a client to you, and or SEO. I mentioned this at the last stage because this is not something we want to focus on today, but just content and blogs and social media are very interesting for the awareness stage. The second stage, which is the consideration, this is where you need to, for example, compare different products. So that could be a video demonstration. That could be a behind the scenes of how the products are being created. That could also be social media. Email campaigns that say you have a list of subscribers, they are new to your list. Okay, you need to build a nurture email thread where you actually show why they should buy from you and not from others. Depending on the industry as well, it could be webinars, it could be ebooks, it could be white papers, it could be a number of things. This mostly applies to B2B. And the third level is when you actually have a discovery offer or even a discount if you want, or an offer, just tell them what the price is, or maybe do a bundle, or depending on what you're selling, you can actually tell them to talk to a representative now or customer service, or even get a free skin product recommendation, depending on your skin as well, or even send samples. Again, this is another list of tactics that you can use to move people across the funnel. Again, awareness, consideration, conversion. So the awareness, and I cannot stress this enough, should be fun and interactive. It shouldn't be focused on product. It should really focus on the customers. What would they really find fun? It could be sometimes not brand related. And again, this, I understand this is hard for you to think of in terms of what content could be interesting and interactive and not brand related, and how does that help me? It builds this awareness in the mind of your potential customers. It helps them connect to you. It helps them see that you actually know what you're talking about. You know your industry. You know your customers. They can relate to you. So it could be also checklists, education, webinars, and blogs. Consideration, also we can think of testimonials. This is where people are actually comparing products and they want to see, would I buy from you or not? Demo videos, product comparison sheets, and case studies. Conversion could be coupons, discounts, free trial, and consultation. Now, if brands are actually doing all of these types of content, most likely they're not targeting, or if it's not working, they're not targeting the proper people to move the same people across from awareness to consideration to conversion. So they're just doing content and seeing what sticks. Again, sorry about the font. So number 5 is to publish, promote, and track. So you should have for each piece of content, depending on how complicated or long or how much time you spent on it, a promotional plan. It could be that you just post it on social media. It could be that you send it in your email newsletter. or you can repurpose this content. Let's say you wrote a blog post that has different ideas and very interesting things to do. You can just even dissect it and use it in different types of social media posts. So you'd have 5 posts. It doesn't have to be, of course, you need to customize the messaging, customize the format, but to be able to promote that content, don't just promote it once. Get creative in terms of how you actually promote it. Maybe send it to a list or an influencer to help you with that process. So just get creative and repurpose the content. It's not there just to be posted or shared once. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. I've talked about a lot of things that seem theoretical. I'm going to show you how other brands have put this into action. So the first one is ProFlowers. Okay, so ProFlowers is an online website that sells flowers. Okay, what they did is something quite advanced, but you don't have to start with that level of complication, but you can start small. So they created a list of 151 types of flowers, included with images, with the season, where they grow, and everything else. Why? Because they realized that people actually, when they gift flowers, they look for what they mean, for the names, how long do I need to take care of them. So all of this, they made it available. And as a result, they were able to get like 17,000 organic visits a month to that blog post alone, or that list of 151 flowers. It attracted 49 linking routes domain. This is where I tell you SEO, but they didn't really actually do any effort to get these backlinks. So, you know, in SEO, whenever big websites or any website really links back to your website, it increases your authority in Google, which means that more people are more likely to find you when they search for products, or for they search for things that you have on your website. So without really doing any effort, just by creating this resource, they got 49 links back to their website. And as a result of their content marketing strategy, they have 42% of organic traffic. Now, this goes back to Randa's question, meaning how is it cheap? Organic traffic is free. They only wrote a piece of content that actually is very valuable to their target audience, and they reap the benefits by getting 42% of organic traffic. Now, this is top of the funnel content. This is awareness. It has nothing to do, it doesn't really tell people to buy from them, but people, when actually visit their website, they remember the ProFlowers. They have brand awareness. So next time they need to buy flowers, they'll go back to the website because they remember it, and buy the gift for that special someone. Another very interesting brand is Strolleria. As an example, why I added it, because the difference between what they do and what others is that they have an e-commerce stores, but they actually sell their products in stores that are not their own. So they sell it in malls, or even baby shops that they do not own. But they also wanted to help their customers make the right decision by knowing which product to buy. So this shows that it doesn't have to be only an e-commerce website. Even if you actually sell your product somewhere else, it would be interesting for you to invest in content marketing. And it shows that content doesn't need to be fancy to really be effective. Now, what did they do? So imagine, and maybe some of you are a new parent trying to choose a stroller for your kids. Wouldn't you appreciate to have a stroller buying guide? I know there's a lot of information. They vary a lot in terms of size, what they can do, if you can take it on a plane, so on and so forth. If also you had a quiz that could help match what you want in a stroller with actually the best stroller for you. Let's say, for example, you heard about the Bungaboo box and the Bungaboo Chameleon, and you need to compare them to see which one works for you. No idea what the difference between them is. But let's say someone told you to buy this one and you're actually considering another one, that you can compare them. So so what they did is they actually helped build the buying guide, and they were able to do a quiz to help people make the decision. So once they build this brand awareness, or once they put the content in front of people who are looking for strollers, they are more likely to get people to buy from them or the brands that they have. So that's an example of a blog post. Actually, that's just the header comparing the two different strollers in terms of which one to buy. And that's another example of how they promoted the quiz that they have. So all of these help them really gather a lot of brand awareness and help them build loyalty with their potential customers. Another example here is the Platinum Skincare for men, actually. What they did is whenever you visit the skincare website, you can take a quiz that helps you find the right products for your skin type and specific needs. Now, I understand based on some brands I worked with is that men are they know less about the right products for them, or what is the skin type or the products they need. So this quiz helps you really identify what are the best products for you. Now, this has been done before. Other brands have done this. This is not really very original. Although what they did is they took it a step further. When you do the quiz, you get a list of products that are recommended for you by email. But they also, what they do is they send you other emails. This is when I mean with nurturing leads or nurturing emails, is these emails actually add value to the customers based on what the results of the quiz were. Provides valuable content, it helps drive conversions and creates brand loyalty. And if you notice from the emails, it's only one of them that actually is pushing for sales. Others, they're only providing helpful tips. This is where you entertain, educate, and build brand loyalty with your customers. Now that's my final example. The reason I added this one is it's a little bit different than all of these. It's one brand that actually will see how they follow a full funnel approach, meaning from awareness to consideration to conversion, and they do so using Facebook ads. So it might not be content in the typical sense of thinking about content, but also social media is content. So I understand that most likely a big number of you does this. So I wanted to show you that it's also possible to apply the learnings from here today to help push people across the funnel from step to step. So they did that using Facebook ads. Now, okay, Darjeeling is a French lingerie brand. They are trying to promote their products, which have a specific target audience. Now, what they do usually is a little bit like other brands. They have different collections every season, but what they focus on is both fashion and comfort. What they wanted to do from this campaign is to take potential customers from the awareness to the acquisition. So they wanted to bring new customers to their funnel. They wanted to sell them the new collection. So they use this full funnel approach using Facebook and Instagram to build awareness and boost online sales. So the campaign was structured in two phases. The first phase was to build awareness. Of course, that's the first level of the funnel. They did that by using a video that introduces the new collection. But they targeted broadly, meaning they did not specifically only focus on their previous customers, but they had a broad targeting. And they had a recurring delivery of two alternating videos. So two different videos. So if you've seen the first one, you can see the second, and you can see a combination of both, okay? Because to build awareness, you need to have a certain frequency. I need to show you the ad more than once, or you're more likely not going to remember it. What they wanted to do in the first phase is to encourage the target audience to discover the new products. Again, not sell. And they use something called Facebook collection ads that allows you to show different products and highlight on the different aspects of the product. That was phase one. The second phase was to get conversion and website sales, which is the natural flow from awareness to conversion. What they did is they used dynamic ads. I will explain briefly what dynamic ads are, but this will be part of the second webinar we have next week that focuses on advertising. Now, imagine you went to a website and you saw a product. Let's say you go back to Facebook or even somewhere else and you see the ad there, the same ad or the same product or the same brand shown there. Now, this is one way of doing remarketing. What Facebook offers in terms of dynamic ads is that you don't have to do this retargeting manually, it does this automatically. So whoever gets to see that product will be shown exactly the same product without you having to waste any effort on doing the retargeting yourself manually. The second type of ad they use is the collection format. Again, you can see different products in one post or a slider on Instagram. Now, their audience, they focused for this audience on women between 18 and 44 who were interested in swimsuit and actually were following competing brands in France, the target location for the campaign. They also use lookalike audiences. Again, we will go in depth into this next week, but these are people who look like their current customers. So you can upload to Facebook a list of your customers, and Facebook automatically finds people who look like them based on their demographics, where they live, what they do, what they surf on Facebook, and so on. And they also targeted people who abandoned, who, for example, visited their websites, or people who added to cart and did not complete the purchase. Now, they did all of this by also doing one step further, which is based on their customer list, what they have in their customer list. They know the sizes of each of their customers. They were able to show them images, products worn by people who had exactly the same size, which means you were more likely, or the person seeing the ad was more likely to actually buy the product because they were able to see it in their size and how it looks on someone who has the same size. Now, this is very important in terms of it actually resonates with the potential customers. They did this campaign on both Facebook and Instagram. They did Instagram stories. They used a photo carousel on Instagram for the conversion phase, but they also used a format that's more lifestyle and not only focused on it. So this way they could sell the comfort and the luxury that the products allow the people to have without actually saying that this is comfortable, but they want to show the lifestyle you can have by wearing these swimsuits. Now, what happened is that they were able to see, by following this full funnel approach, which is important in terms of pushing the same audience from awareness to sales, is that they've seen an increase of 15% of sales related to that campaign. They were able to get a 3 times increase or 3 times return on ad spend. So this is where most people struggle when they don't do ads properly, spend their budget, and then they cannot really say how much this campaign or how much this media budget spend was able to return for them in terms of sales. So compared to previous ads or previous campaigns, it generated 3 times the return on ad spend for Darshini. And they were able to get 1 million users reached by the campaign. This is more important in the awareness stage than it is in the sales. But you can see that with tracking the 3 different, by doing the full funnel approach, they had numbers to show the success in the first funnel, the awareness, which is the number of people reached, and the increased return on ad spend. So their budget was used more efficiently, and they were able to really get an increase in sales, which is ultimately is the objective of that campaign. Now, just for to remind you why I put this example, because I wanted to show you you can use the same framework which is for content marketing to help in ads as well, not only in content marketing in the pure form, meaning blogs and videos. But once you know your audience, you want from this campaign, which are the objectives, you can really create content for the campaign that resonates with your target customers. Thoughts? I'm not sure where we are on time, but yeah, last things I want to tell you today is keep in mind content marketing needs time to shoot. Most people abandon after 1 month or 2 because they don't start seeing the results yet, but this takes time. Keep in mind, you are here to inform, entertain, and educate your readers, not just sell them product. You need to focus on your persona's pains and gains related to your highlight value proposition. Always go back to the marketing funnel, awareness, conversion. Remember the 80-20 rule. It takes a lot of work for you to be able to get from 20 to 80 to 80 to 20. Content costs time, but it costs much money. So that's why I wanted to give you the webinar today. It's great for small businesses. And you actually have advantage over big brands. Don't let this intimidate you. You have a personality. And personality helps people connect with you. Other than you have brand values, of course, you have good products. This always helps, but the personality helps you stand from the content noise that we have online these days. That's it for me. I'm ready to take questions, Elvira, if you want.
If anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself and ask Jennifer directly. Actually, Jen, I have a couple of questions as well concerning the newsletters and promotional emails. What do you think? How much is good and how much is bad? You know, but sometimes we have a lot of emails, promotional emails. So we do unregistration and we unfollow the business. So what is the optimum number to have for the newsletters? Also, we have a question from Yasmin. She's asking about the ads frequency. How much ads we should?
I'm thinking let's do one. Okay. End question, Yasmina. Okay. Let me start with the first one. Just let's start with the basics of not call them advertising newsletter anymore. It should be just so we say advertising. It should be just content. Now there is no ideal number. It really gets back to the fact that one thing that's more important is that these people are subscribed to your list, so they want to receive the email that you're sending them, and you actually create content that's meaningful to them. If you create content that's meaningful to them and resonates, it doesn't matter if you email them I don't know, every week. It matters that you actually provide content that adds value to them. And this is easier said than done. But it really depends on how much content you have. If you don't have a lot of content, then having an email sent once a month to just maintain content with their customers is good. If, let's say, for example, someone in the example of the skincare products for men, you quiz to give you their email address, then you need to nurture this lead. This is a potential lead, a potential customer. You need to nurture this lead, which means emailing them 1 day after they subscribe is good, 3 days after, 5 days after. Depends on, for example, the price of the product that they're buying from you. If it's something on the cheap side, or dollars, then you don't have to really send a lot of emails. If there is something that they need time to consider or to buy or to decide on, then yeah, you can send a lot more emails to help them in their decision-making process. Now, this is for something that where people actually give an email in exchange for a quiz or something, then yeah, you can increase the frequency of the emails. If not, then it should be something where you as a brand is comfortable with. So if you feel like you don't have enough ideas to write content every week, then just do it every month. Again, important that the content is specific and targeted and adds value to the potential customers. Now, for Yasmina's question, what's a healthy ad frequency? Now, this is a little bit general. So let's say I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth. Awareness. Okay, you're targeting a new audience that they don't know about you, and you want to build this brand awareness. So to be able to build this brand awareness, you need to have a regular frequency. You need to, within the campaign duration, show them the campaign more than once. Now, if you're doing Facebook ads, they have this specific research in terms of building brand awareness that tells you that after two frequency at 2 times, showing the ad 2 times within a duration of 7 days, it's enough to build brand awareness. Or if you show it 3 times or 4 times, it's not going to increase this brand awareness anymore. It will only risk, for example, or either a flat line, so the curve becomes like this, and there's no longer a lot more brand awareness you can build, or you risk as well from people being annoyed with your ad. So this is a frequency of 2 for a duration of 7 days. But this is for brand awareness. If you're doing conversion, then that's something else. It really depends on the products that you have, how much commitment do they need. Are you selling a course that, I don't know, a course that requires a year commitment? Or are you selling something that's easy and they can buy and it's something that they use on a regular basis? So you can go back now to your ads and your ads manager, you can see how much a frequency is, and they can tell you also how much is your ad score. So all of this will help you either increase the audience size, so you have less of frequency, or it also shows you that, for example, your ad is too specific and you're just showing the ad to a small group of people, but they're seeing it more than once, and this is something might cause some negative feedback in the minds of the people seeing that. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so what calendar of posting you advise to use? How many? Engagement, education, promotion. Okay, so in general, again, I say in general, because it really depends on how much time you have to create content and all of this, and if you have someone helping you with that. Usually at this time, we used to do, I remember when I started in the field, we used to do 2 posts a day on a brand. Now we do 3 posts a week. This is a good average. I would suggest that you have 2 of these posts that are focusing on education and engagement, and 1 that focuses on promotion. Now, I'm only saying this because it's only social media, but you can do a lot more in terms of the content could. But actually, when you write blog posts, many of the blog posts should focus on level 1 and level 2, as we've seen in the presentation, which are awareness and consideration. Do not write a blog post to promote a specific product. This is not really helpful in terms of where you invest your time in content. Now, for the types of visuals, this goes back to your target audience. I know, for example, that younger generation actually watch a lot more videos, engage with polls and reels, whereas older people read longer formats. They read blog posts, they might download an ebook, they might do things that where they invest more time in your content than just videos. I'm going through the questions still. The last one I have, how do you know when to post and how much you should post? I think that I covered this one. When, it really depends again on your target audience, but there is something that Facebook has added. I don't know if you use Business Suite. They have different tools now. They have Creator Studio and Business Suite. It tells you every week when your audience is more, whenever you're actually creating and scheduling the post, it tells you when your audience is more active. Now, again, this refers to the audience, so meaning the followers of your page or people who engage with it. It's not limited. It's not your ideal audience or all of the potential customers. So if you're, for example, promoting something to US audience and you're based in Beirut, you really want to keep that in mind in terms of who do you want to target as well. Great. Any other questions?
Jennifer?
Yes.
I have an existential question, just if it's possible.
I love this.
You know, when we help our SMEs, we tell them, please, every time you do anything, remember your vision, your mission, and your strategy. So today you were focusing on persona. So maybe are you saying that indirectly the persona is coming from the vision? Because it's kind of, you know, I'm just trying to put these two together, because in fact you only create your persona following the mission that you have put for yourself, right? So this is what I just wanted to say, that they have to always remember their vision in every post they do, and in every sentence they write, that they have to remember the values they are building their business on, that they are selling a story, not a product, even if it's a service. So I just wanted to see if you agree with me, or if you have anything also to add to that.
Actually, this brings up a very interesting point, because when I do this framework, when I use this framework with SMEs I work with, whether in e-commerce or other, they all have an issue in terms of trying to step away from the brand values and the brand mission in terms of putting this in the content, in the context of the customer. So let's say my value is to spread clean products and to increase the use of clean skincare, again, because this is an example we've used. This is my value as a brand. Where they struggle is to try to put themselves in the shoes of the customers who do not necessarily buy for these values. Let's be very honest, a lot of people do not buy because it's clean, they buy because it's trendy. They buy because their friends are buying it. Now, this is a good thing because they want to promote these values, but they also want to use the language and the thoughts and the thinking of their potential customer. So if we're doing this only to sell the products, yes, our products are clean and everything else, but people make decisions based on a different set of checklists than we have our reason to be as a brand. So not to alienate any customer or say that this is to always keep promoting what we believe in. We need to use the language of the customer, the way they think, to help them make the decision. And this is where it's a very tough thing to achieve with any SME, to be able to help them make that transition in terms of what people or what potential customers are thinking. Thank you for that. I just didn't mention it because yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Randa. Regarding Instagram stories, up to how many stories is acceptable, and do you recommend to post more polls to get closer to clients? Okay, Well, if you're doing stories that are interesting and engaging and add value to the customers, you can do as many stories as you want, as long as it's not always promoting products. And this is, people check stories, they check them all the time, they are very engaged on stories. This again is in general. So don't just hammer or post a lot of stories, but just you can be comfortable with the number you are already doing. That's no issue. But just focus on the content. Again, if the content is interesting, I know that people will start to wait for your stories to see what you're actually posting today. Now, again, polls are very engaging. People use them a lot, but just try to use them in terms of getting to know the customers. So that could be a very good example of posting engaging polls that are not product related, that focuses on your customers and their lifestyle. What do they like? Why they are here? Why they're following you? All of this. And you can ask them things on such as where do you like to, what content do you like to see more on this account, and what are you interested in? But the important part is actually to do the recommendations that they give you, and not just to ask polls and forget to check the results at the end. Yeah, polls is a very recommended way of engaging customers. I hope that answers your question, Rose. I see we have Aline who raised her hand.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
It's a question. If we want to start promoting our items on the social media and we have many products, how do we do so that we show them what the products are without like bombarding them, like you're saying, with more than one post a week? Do we put it like in one little booklet that they can check in the highlights whenever they want? And then we do like you're saying, or in the beginning, we do post every product in itself so that they can refer to it whenever they want on our social media. Thank you.
Sure. Now, just because you asked this question, I will tell you this, that most people, when they use social media, they really do not go back to previous posts. Okay. Unless they're really looking for something that I've seen, what they do is that they save the product that they want, okay, or the post that they've seen on Instagram, for example. So really, posting on social media in a way of showing your catalog is not something that will help you achieve either getting sales or getting people to refer back to the products. Again, if you want to refer, you have an e-commerce, I'm assuming you have a website where you're selling, or you can refer them at the end of, yeah. You want to say something, Aline?
No, I just said yes, if we have the website, so.
You have the website, so the product should stay on the website. You want to, the website would be where people are at the consideration stage, where they're thinking whether to buy your product or not. On the social media, you shouldn't think of it as a catalog similar to the website. It should be a way of showing your brand values, to showing why your products are better than others without focusing on the product necessarily. You don't only show the product, you show product in being used, show tutorial, I think after what you're selling, but you follow the framework to try to entertain, educate, and then once you have this awareness, once people know you are what you stand for, automatically they will go back to your website and try to buy the product. Or when you post about actually a product, they will automatically go to the website and buy it, because you have built this connection, this awareness, you have educated them on why your product is better than your competitor, or why is it good for them, and why they should have it right now. Does that answer the question? Sure. Anyone else has a raised hand? When you go back and do follow the framework, try to completely disconnect from the products Do not think of your product specifically, just go back to the customer, to the customer that you want to reach. In terms of, I'm going to give you a very stupid example, but I think this illustrates my point. I used to work on a brand when I was in an agency. We used to work with Persil. Okay, Persil is not a brand that is needs any introduction. But when they were using social media, they didn't want to focus. They had an offer every week that goes into the supermarket, but that's just one post a week, telling them, okay, if you buy Persil, you'll get I don't know what with. Now, what we did for them, we did exactly the same framework that I've discussed with you, is that they wanted to build, to engage their audience online. They didn't want to sell because people do not buy Persil on Facebook, they buy it in the supermarket. But they wanted to tell them that, okay, we know what we're talking about. We are good at what we do. We care for you as potential customers, and we are a community of people who use Persil on the Facebook page. So we went back into who are the audience personas. We've discussed with the clients that these are people who most likely stay at home, so women between certain age. I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but this is the reality of things. Who watches, for example, TV, are very social, they go out during the day. We also had a niche customers who were newlyweds, who are basically take the recommendation of their parents in terms of what products to use for washing their clothes. We also had men who were single and living alone. This is also a customer segment for Persil, and so on and so forth. So what we've decided based on the audience persona and the different levels of the funnel, so awareness, consideration, conversion, all of the content on Persil started becoming cleaning tips, how to remove a ketchup stain from your tie, for example, how to do decoration if your in-laws are coming to dinner, so how to set the table, how to do color combination on plates and flowers and things like that. What series are you watching right now? So let's say there is a series and there is, the hero and the other person, and then who are you rooting for in this week's episode? Why? Because all of this is just the interest of the customers, okay? And once they really connect with you, at some point we came to, we start knowing everyone on the page. Anyway, it wasn't a small page, but we started knowing what people watch, what they do, who invited who to dinner, things that are very specific. So whenever we post something related to Kleenex, for example, let's say someone asked us a question like, how can I use Persil to remove, I don't know, an oil stain from the carpet? Other people started answering because they know the answers already, because everyone, it's a community of people who have the same interest, and this is how you need to think in terms of your customers. We not sold Persil on the page. Again, I understand that this is different, or it's not the same level of business, but this is same way to build this connection with your customers. Again, it goes back to the customers and not the products. Does the strategy of following and customers and then unfollow still work as brand awareness? I don't know if it still works, but it's not recommended. It's not recommended because customers know you already do that. So no, please don't do that. Yeah, because we do, Lamia, and the brands actually do that. But yeah, one way that works on Instagram is when you create content that adds value, people will start sharing it. So using the little arrow with their friends. Let's say I have this webinar and I want to promote it. I'll focus on what are the values that you get out of this webinar, or some tips that I will share in this webinar. So people will start forwarding it to others because they found a lot of interest in it, or they will save it to remember to come back later, or because let's say I shared a recipe on persil and they want to come back to it later once I actually have people over for dinner. So focus on Instagram, on, if we're talking only on Instagram, on getting more shares and more saves than followers. The more people save and share, it means that they will go back. It will increase this brand awareness, this loyalty. And once they share, of course, this is generating more reach for your brand. Any more questions? Okay, then I guess that's it. Yes, I was gonna say that. Thank you, Elvira. So the next session will be about advertising. I'll teach you how to do the lookalike audiences and how to use the same framework, awareness, consideration, and conversion in the ad as well. Thanks, everyone.
Jennifer,
see you next week.
So much. We know how much effort. We know how much effort it takes you, and thank you so much for everything you have said today. Thank you.